My favorite toy growing up was always Legos, and it's been the favorite of millions over decades and decades. Why is that? Because we love the idea of taking pieces like this and turning them into something amazing, coming from our own minds, our own imagination. Well, we can do the same thing when we use maker stations with our students, providing materials for them to use and letting their creativity come from the point of conception to completion. So we're going to actually see this process in play and see how our maker station can work with a young child as they try to make themselves a bird feeder. This is Angie. She's a fourth grader and she's working on an assignment where she's supposed to make a bird feeder for her school using recycled materials. We created our impromptu maker station using a variety of materials, from recyclable bottles, to paper plates, to old rope, scissors, glitter glue, even some old paints and beakers and brushes. Angie's decided she's going to make her birdhouse out of a recyclable 2-liter bottle. Angie has already drawn up her design. Now she's in the process of putting it all together. During this process, the tools were in Angie's hands. It didn't matter if things didn't work right. She would just adapt to them. For instance, the opening to her bird feeder was a little too small, so she decided to use a bigger pair of scissors to cut a larger opening. She's letting her imagination go at work, and in the process comparing it to her notes to make sure it's exactly how she wanted it. At this point in the project, Angie needed to make a perch for her bird to sit on. She decided to use an old paintbrush to recycle it as a place for the bird to sit. She poked a couple holes through the bottom and slid the paintbrush through, making a perfect perch. This was a fantastic idea that not only involved upcycling a product like an old paintbrush, but also used the ingenuity to make a strong platform for the bird to stand on. At this point in the project, Angie thought the bird feeder might be a little too obvious and that birds might not want to come up to it, so she decided to add some decoration to make it look more natural. She put some recycled Easter grass in the bottom. She said this way it would kind of look like a nest and invite the birds in. It was a creative idea for sure. Next, Angie decided to decorate her bird feeder. She decided to paint it green, white, and red. When I asked her why she chose those colors, she said she wanted it to represent her Mexican heritage. Again, another creative idea, and another way to make something look aesthetically pleasing while also serving a purpose. Angie needed a way to hang her bird feeder, so she decided to take the cap, one of the hardest things to recycle on a bottle, and make it part of the project. She poked a hole in the top, cut herself a length of rope, and then she tied it into a knot and pulled it through to make a hanger for her bird feeder. Alright, we're here with Angie. She's all done with her recycled bird feeder. She chose to use a bottle so that she could upcycle. Very good. Can you tell us about the parts of your bird feeder?
Well, I put string around it because I could put more peanut butter on it or more food or stuff. And there's I put the little plate in the middle so I could put peanut butter on there too. And there's a paintbrush through it because they can stand on it and eat their food.
Very good. And why did you decide to use peanut butter for bird food?
Why I use peanut butter is because they like peanut butter, and we read that they like it a lot and it's a good treat for them.
Angie was clearly proud of her product, and she used her own imagination and the MakerStation tools to create it. She knew that she had come up with something in her own imagination and now had a final product to show everyone. Instead of explaining the idea, they can actually pick it up, hold it, look at it, and maybe even offer suggestions for improvement, or where she could place it at for better bird feeding. What an amazing bird feeder! And that came all from upcycling using a maker station. When we provide the tools and the materials for a student, they can let their imagination run wild and then walk away with an actual completed project, which gives them understanding of how things work or even how to improve it. And in the process, they can actually assist with helping someone or something to be better. Maker stations are a wonderful part of education and should be a staple in every classroom.